Hey guys, it's Charles with Neo Kizomba. I'm inspired to share a story with you guys here today about an experience that I had while I was teaching some workshops out in Cincinnati, Ohio. And this particular experience touched me in a different way that I haven't experienced before. And that's why I feel really compelled to share it with you guys now. So I hope it'll add some value to your Kizomba journey. And yeah, so here we go. Here's a story about Tracy. So in Cincinnati, even before I knew Tracy's name, so to speak, we danced at a social. And within 10 seconds of dancing with her, I knew right away that she was a physical touch person. And I don't know, the way that you find out is like the person not only hugs you or gets close to you, but they also like enwrap you in their soul. I'm pretty sure if you are a physical touch person, you can relate to what I'm saying, but that's how Tracy felt. But Tracy was also very new to dancing and new to Kizomba, so she wasn't experienced. She wasn't the best dancer. She was still kind of fumbling her way along, kind of learning and things like that. And so looking back at it now, I was able to take her skill set as a dancer and put that aside and see that there was something more to the equation there, you know? I felt like there was a thirst for some genuine human just touch, you know, that kind of touch that the physical touch people need, you know? I felt that in her, despite the fact that she wasn't the best dancer at the social, and I'll touch more about that later on. So feeling that, or knowing, or maybe both feeling and knowing that she had that thirst for touch, it kind of made me wonder, like, if she was looking for that touch and she hasn't had it, so obviously there was a lack of it, how long has it been that way? And how empty was it, you know? Like, how much of it did she need in her life to make her feel whole, you know? So despite the awkwardness of her learning the new dance, there was something there stronger to keep her on the dance floor, taking classes and things like that. And somehow, one way or another, Kizomba was quenching that thirst, so to speak, you know? So we go through the workshops and I find out that she signed up for a private lesson. And I saw her and I recognized her. And one of the first questions that I asked her was, do you know what your love languages are? And I have a feeling that she already knew she was a physical touch person, so she told me. I told her the 5 love languages and she told me physical touch is probably a top one in her life right now. And that was awesome. And then I also asked her, what does she do professionally? And I try to ask this question all the time in my private lessons, just to know how to kind of direct my instruction to that person, because for the most part, people are going to be thinkers or feelers, or maybe a mixture of both and things like that, you know? And she told me she was a scientist, and I was like, that really resonated with me personally, because I know myself, I did a lot of IT before I started dancing Kizomba full time. And being a physical touch person, having that as one of your top love languages, and being also IT technical oriented, those two things don't always match very well. And so I resonated with that. I connected to those two things. And we go through the private lesson and I was teaching her the technique of the steps and things like that. And I told her in the private, because I always try to be encouraging in most of my private lessons, I said, you're gonna be an awesome Kizombera. And the reason for that is because you have the cuddle factor. And the cuddle factor is just what I was saying at the beginning of the video, those people that hug you and there's no barrier. And you can have another person hug you like right next to you, in front of you, and you still feel a barrier, like emotionally, you know? So I told her that the fact that she has the Cuddle Factor, all she has to do is learn the technique. once she gets the technique down and you add that Cuddle Factor, is gonna make an awesome Kizombera. And those aren't the only two ingredients that make awesome Kizomberas. There are different flavors, you know? But the fact that she had that stood out to me, and I kind of gave her that word of encouragement for her. And so at the end of the private lesson, Lisa, who was the organizer that brought me out, she was there to record us dancing so she could have something to see. Most people haven't seen themselves dance Kizomba, especially early in their early stages of learning. So record the video, and things started to click for Tracy. Steps started to flow, there was smiling and things like that. She was owning the movement and she melted, you know? And so we were dancing and we finished dancing, and I look over at Lisa and she's tearing up. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm glad that she's happy for her. Maybe there's some backstory that I'm missing or something like that she knows about Tracy that I'm not aware of. And Tracy sees that Lisa is tearing up and she also starts tearing up. And that really, really touched me personally, because I really, really, really love teaching. And to see that she could see, I guess, that connection that Tracy was having in the private lesson, and it moved her to the point of tears, was really, really amazing. I've never had that happen before. And it's one of the reasons I'm doing this video right now, because I feel like it's really important to put that message out there. So later on, because I had another private lesson, I couldn't talk to them right then and there, I asked Lisa what made her tear up about watching us dance, and she said that she could see her falling in love with the dance. And that was really, really amazing for me, because that's what you want as an instructor. You want to be able to bring out from within the beauty that people have already in themselves, you know? Nerdy fact, the etymology of the word educate is educere, and that means to draw forth from within. So if you're going to educate someone, you're actually showing them what they already have inside, or getting them to believe in that, you know? So that really hit home with me, especially loving to teach so much, that somebody was able to appreciate that and see that. And so in retrospect, I have several takeaways. The first takeaway is for the Kizomba instructors. The instructors, Kizomba is more than just the steps. I saw this quote not too long ago, and it's been on my mind over and over and over again. It keeps kind of like haunting me, if you will, but the dance is what happens in between the steps. So I guess it'll just be a call for being more emotionally perceptive and aware of your students that you're teaching, you know? And that does require some emotional self-awareness yourself, you know? But I just ask myself, how many other Tracys have I encountered in the past, you know? And maybe I wasn't able to touch in the same way, you know? And what if we kind of have somebody that has the potential of becoming an awesome Kizombera like Tracy, and they miss out on that opportunity because they weren't able to get like that emotional fulfillment or just awareness of what's going on, you know? So that will be my takeaway for the other instructors as well, is try to become more emotionally aware and see where your students are at. And I think that'll hit home with them a lot more, so they can see the beauty of the dance of Kizomba. And the more I dance Kizomba, the more I come across people that are looking for some kind of emotional healing or coping or something like that, because life has its twists and turns, you know? And I think dance has just been one of those things that has withstood the test of time to get us through those times and get us to higher levels of self-discovery and self-awareness and like emotional intelligence. And I'm still learning myself, but I feel like I'm glad I'm able to make that connection for some people. And if you're hearing this story and you relate to Tracy's story, don't give up. Like, I love that Tracy was able to push through the awkwardness of learning a new dance because she felt the emotional benefit that she was getting from it, you know? If you know that you are getting some kind of wholesome benefit from Kizomba, from any dance, from any art, you know, embrace it and push past it, because I can guarantee that the journey of the self-discovery and the self-awareness that you come across will be well worth the struggle of the awkwardness. So thank you so much for listening in. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really felt inspired to share this story, and I would love to hear your comments below in the video. Peace out.